The Alien franchise, no one can hear you scream in space, but how about on Earth? Let's find out.
Temporal causality. We think we're stuck in a specific fragment in time, but we've been repeating that same fragment over and over.
I just want a second look.
There's something about this one, isn't there? It's familiar somehow.
Colonel O'Neill is correct. Events do appear to be repeating themselves.
Let me quote Leviticus 10.
We saw this.
Hello and welcome to You've Seen It Before, TV reviews and connections of mind. Alien Earth is the latest installment in the Alien franchise. All episodes of the first season are now available on Hulu. This is from showrunner Noah Hawley, and this series focuses on the exploits of the Lost Boys, aka a group of sick children who've had their consciousnesses transferred into robotic bodies, becoming the first hybrids in this universe. We've already had synthetics in this universe. We also get cyborgs later on, but now we have hybrids. And when a Weyland-Yutani ship crashes into Earth carrying both a xenomorph as well as various other alien specimens into a rival company's territory, these Lost Boys are sent into the crash site to investigate and recover samples for the purposes of the Prodigy Corporation, which is who created them. But of course, as is usual with the Alien franchise, things don't always go to plan. Now, this video review will contain spoilers of Alien Earth, as well as some other things. I'll be doing my spoiler-free thoughts first and foremost, though, but just so you know, there will be some spoilers later on in this review. So, first things first, let's get into some spoiler-free talk on Alien Earth. Is this a good show in general? Is this a good installment in the Alien franchise? Where does this rank in that universe? I would say this is, first of all, the production design on this series is amazing. This looks great for a show. Like, the money is definitely on screen. Both CGI, I mean, I don't really recall seeing any weird CGI or anything like that, but also there's a great amount of practical effects in here, especially with the creatures. You know, the xenomorph, obviously, we have had a lot of experience over the years with practical effects with the xenomorphs, but we also had to get other freaky creatures effects and that are enhanced by CGI. So there's a great job doing that, as well as, you know, the action scenes. For the most part, I would say they work well enough. I mean, nothing egregious as far as I'm concerned, that front. So production-wise, this series is amazing. This fits right in with the Alien franchise as we've seen it so far. Maybe a little bit more in the Disney-fied version, so maybe closer to Alien Romulus as far as looks, but although Alien Romulus, I will say, also looked fairly close to the original Alien as well. So once again, production design, pretty good. And I also like the fact that there aren't really a ton of Easter eggs or references to come through, which I think was a big Achilles heel with Alien Romulus, because I believe in the timeline where in the Alien universe, Alien Earth takes place roughly 2 years or so before the events of the first Alien movie, or, you know, something along those lines. So this is a roughly concurrent with the first Alien, and, you know, that way you don't have to, you know, slip in egregious, references to future things. Like, yes, we see the xenomorph in, you know, you don't get a random references here or there. I don't think there's like a random cat shot that, you know, the cat reacting to the xenomorph or something like that, or, you know what I mean? This, for the most part, I'd say this series does a good job with keeping the series mostly self-contained to what it is. And what it is aside from being, you know, Alien, there's horror stuff. Yes, there's a part of that, but really this is more of a character piece. And I'd say the standout characters in this series so far, to me at least, Whereas Sydney Chandler, who plays Wendy, aka Marcy, Marcy was the name of the little girl who she's the first one to become a hybrid, and then she becomes Wendy, aka one of the founding members of the Lost Boys, because the founder of this company has a big Peter Pan thing going on. I think I will say the most egregious reference that I would say in this series, and again, not in the Alien franchise, but when Marcy, the little girl, is laying on the table, it's like, all right, you're gonna fall asleep to this, look up at the ceiling, there's a big screen on the ceiling, and what are they gonna play? Oh, why, Disney's Peter Pan, of course. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the Disney crowd on that. So, I kind of cringe a little bit at that, but thankfully there's very little of that in the rest of the series. So Sydney Chandler, her struggle with that, because she also has a brother who assumes she's been dead for, I forget how many years they said that she's been, that she went away for this. So when he get reintroduced to the picture, probably when they get reunited, probably around halfway through the series, I mean, there's character development there. What is that going to look like? We get that. And also the other breakout performance, I think, in this series is, I'm probably going to butcher this guy's name, and I apologize in advance. Babous Cisse, as Morrow, who is a cyborg. He's got like a flamethrower and a knife and other stuff that comes out of his right hand. And he's a Weyland-Yutani, I guess, plants double agent, something like that. And we get to know why he's doing what he's doing, and that's great. And we get there's a great flashback episode, probably around episode 5, I want to say, where we go back and see, well, how did we come to be? And we get to learn more about this character, and great. I love that. That was probably one of the best episodes of the series. The bad part about this, however, is those are the two breakout characters, and there's so many other characters in this movie. You got, I think, 5 or 6 other Lost Boys, these other children in there. And yeah, they have their own little quirks going on as we reveal throughout the rest of the series, but it doesn't really go anywhere as far as I'm concerned. And we don't really get much into it. Like, for instance, one of them, the most we learn about him is he is a mother. Okay. Yeah, we already had that thing going on with Wendy and her brother. Yeah, we got that family going on. All right, so the mother, what's she going with? Nope, not in the picture. All right, fine. And then you also got, the synth that is basically the caretaker of these Lost Boys, played by Timothy Oliphant, who, yes, he's got screen presence, I suppose. He's got the kind of creepy demeanor as he methodically goes through his operations, but we don't know that much about him. I mean, he gets kind of a rivalry with Morrow at some point, but that doesn't really go anywhere. Same thing with the creator of this company, the boy genius, as he's called, and him and his relationship with his antagonistic relationship with Miss Yutani, who is the head of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. They have one scene together and a couple of video calls, and we don't get much there. The point I'm trying to make here is there's a lot of characters going on in here, and they don't, you'd think with all this extra screen time, with the benefit of this being a TV series rather than a 2-hour movie, is that we have all these characters that we would get to develop them. And because it's a horror movie, you don't expect to get deep character dives into every single character, because admittedly, at some point they're going to end up being, alien father. They're going to get killed off at some point, so you don't need to know that much about them. That's par for the course. That's fine. But with the way that this series was progressing, I thought we were going to get more development. Again, the benefit of being a TV series, you get to develop things more. They get more screen time, but I don't really think I know these characters very well. I mean, you get to know 2 of the other Lost Boys, and then the other ones, like, I don't even remember their names. Like, they're very interchangeable. Like one Lost Boy, she has a Yeah, she has this thing where she's like, "Oh, Wendy's the favorite because she was the first, but I should be the favorite." It's like that gets dropped immediately, and then gets lip service at the very end, I think. And it's like, why even bring that up? Because it doesn't play into anything at all in this. So if there's a theme to all this, I would say this series started off with so much promise. I think this, I was very much I wasn't like on the edge of my seat, but I was very interested. It's like, all right, where are we going to go with this? I like what I'm seeing. I'm curious to see what we're going to go looking forward. But by the end of it, I can't say that I was particularly overwhelmed or anything. I wasn't particularly satisfied. And it left, the final scene, it kind of leaves you on, I mean, it depends, I guess your mileage will vary, but to me, it kind of left me, it's like, all right, I guess I'm curious to see what goes on, but I'm not sure that all the buildup to this was necessarily worth it. Again, they do introduce interesting concepts that they could explore more and better in season 2, but for right now, I would say this is a okay start, but rocky finish, and definitely has more to prove going into a season 2 if we ever get a season 2. So if I was going to grade Alien Earth, I'd give it a letter grade. I would say this is a B+. And if I was going to grade this, weigh this in on the scale of unoriginality, I would say this weighs in at less than original, which you've seen it before, but it could be worse. So those are my main spoiler-free thoughts on Alien Earth. Now let's get into some spoiler talk as to certain plot developments and character arcs that may seem familiar to you and where you may have seen them before. So, again, with these series, I try not to go episode by episode. I'm trying to stick to more thematic things, and this is not a comprehensive list by any means. I could have added a couple other things, but I kind of want to start, again, with the franchise thing going on. We have the revelation that Wendy is able. I don't know if we really explain how she can do it, but she's able to finally able to communicate with the xenomorph, which you would think is a huge thing, except they already did this in Alien Resurrection, where the Ripley clone has a kind of a special bond with xenomorphs, and she can't exactly command them, but she has this certain bond with them and is able to sense they're coming or something like that, which to me is kind of interesting that we've, back with Alien Romulus, that had, a hybrid xenomorph human thing going on, and we'd already gotten that with the newborn in Resurrection. So it feels like Disney, the Alien franchise under Disney's management, is really intent on recycling everything from Alien Resurrection, which, I mean, I guess rework the concepts, but I thought we all kind of agreed that Alien Resurrection was not a particularly good movie. So, yeah, maybe, if they can make it work, all the power to them, but that just seemed odd to me. And so there's that, and there's also this side plot with, I forgot the guy, the Lost Boys kid's name, Arash or something like that. Where Morrow the cyborg is able to communicate with him directly, and he's basically saying like, "Oh, if you're gonna get me the samples of the xenomorph, I'm gonna kill your mom," basically. And to me, that whole dynamic, again, you've seen this in a bunch of other things, but the one that stuck out in my mind was Terra Nova. If you've ever seen that short-lived series where the one teenage boy is being inside the camp is being manipulated by the evil organization on the outside to get them some stuff from the camp that they can't get themselves. So again, you've seen that kind of thing before, but to me that was the one that stuck out to my mind. And then finally, the plot point at the very end where, again, the final shot, your mileage may vary. To me, I was like, okay, when Wendy and the other Lost Boys come in and they've locked up Tim Belval's character, I think Morrow, the boy genius guy, and it's like, oh, well, what are you gonna do now? And she's like, now we rule. And that kind of reminded me of and the two-parter from Star Trek Enterprise season 4 in A Mirror Darkly, where There's a lot of power struggles going on, but by the end, the final shot of this two-parter is Hoshisato controlling from the Defiant, and she's like, "Oh, you're speaking with Empress Sato," and forcible change of power that way, and it's like, again, a lot of other shows have done something like that, but to me, that kind of stuck in my mind as a similarity. Like I said, there's a ton of other channels out there that have done episode by episode breakdowns of these, and they probably know references far better than I do. These are just the ones stuck out to my mind. Overall, I would say this was, again, a lot of potential. This kind of reminds me, the whole series has, with the way they expanded lore, it kind of reminded me of like the Ghostbusters, or the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon series. When you had the movies, they showed a couple of ghosts, and then you got the shows like, oh, you got all these other kinds of ghosts and monsters that they're fighting. And so now we've got the Xenomorph, but now we've got all these other various creatures. Like I got a fly trap thing, the acid, the bug thing flying around. I think the standout of those, I think, is the Wandering Eye. I don't know if it's called that officially, but if it's not, that's a huge missed opportunity, in my opinion. That thing's just freaky, and I really like how they built up to, the final reveal where he's able to reanimate a corpse, basically, and control that. It'll be interesting to see. It's like, well, the whole thing that they wanted to get this thing into a person to see if it can talk. Well, it's in a corpse now. What's it going to say? That's one of the mysteries that I think would be interesting to explore in a season 2. But like I said, the character development was lax. I don't think it stuck the landing. I'm just interested enough, if they put out season 2, I'll watch it. What did you think of Alien Earth season 1? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What about my analysis? Do you agree, disagree? Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate whatever audience I can get. Be sure to look for my next movie review, which, if the schedule holds, should be for Tron Ares, which comes out this weekend. And if you like this video or any other video on my channel, please give me a like, share, and especially a subscribe. I would very much appreciate it. Again, thank you so much for watching, but just remember, there is nothing new under the sun, and yes, you have seen it before.